to film this. Mighty. Mighty, me baby. Mighty. Say hi, everyone. She's so over it. Okay, go back to playing. I left him on way too long, but at least my under eye is hydrated, you know what I mean? If you're ever gonna film anything or take photos, don't eat hot Cheetos, even if you're like, oh, it's only a few, it'll be fine. It's not fine. All in my teeth. Hi everyone, I'm Gabriel Zamora, and thank you so much for watching. So for today's video, we are doing makeup and opinions. Makeup and opinions is one of my favorite series here on my channel because it's just me doing my makeup, playing with makeup, and just basically talking the entire time. Like, you see the length of this video. It is a long video. It is one of y'all's favorite series on my channel. I know I haven't uploaded one in a minute. This video is going to be very informative as to what I've been up to, where I've been, where my mind has been, what my opinions are, and what makeup I want to play with. There was a lot of new makeup that I wanted to play with, but I didn't want to upload a playing with new makeup video. I feel like we need to have a fun little talk, just like a sit down where I haven't had such a, like a, to me, open discussion with y'all in a minute. I feel like my last makeup and opinions have just been kind of like fun little conversations, but I feel like we definitely need to catch up. And we definitely need to catch up as to what's new in the makeup world as well. I definitely want to play with the products. I definitely want to talk to y'all. So if you're ready for a lengthy little video, let's get into it. Okay, everyone, to begin, I think I'm going to prep my skin. But I did want to tell y'all, Murad, I still have a discount code with them where y'all know I'm obsessed with Murad. I'm like a little too obsessed. Like, I am, dude. It's just this bomb. It's literally one of my favorite moisturizers. But it's only on murad.com, not at like Sephora or Ulta. So if you want to save 20% on Murad, this is like one of the best. If you have oily skin, look into water gels. It doesn't have to be this one specifically, but the one that I specifically use is this one. So the foundation that I wanted to try today, this is the Rare Beauty foundation. I was really excited to play with this because I feel like it's been like the buzz of the makeup world for at least like a month now. Yeah, since like they announced it and everything, and everybody has an opinion on it. And I want to like have my opinion on it because this is very much a brand that I would use. Like, I'm very much like a slightly like thinner foundation, not too much makeup sometimes. Like, I kind of like the versatility. I did watch some videos where, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're so funny. I did want to try out this foundation because I have seen some of the review videos, so I want to try it. Like, it looks like a very me foundation. So I think I want to color correct just to be safe because I always do that. I feel like this brand has been so like polarizing coming into the beauty space, which I really like. Like, me personally, like, I don't care who creates a makeup brand because I personally am not a makeup artist. I like makeup, so, and I'm in the beauty space, so I don't feel like I could be somebody. Like, I'm not like a working makeup artist. That looks really light. This is in the shade 240W, but this other shade was too dark. I wonder if this one will do. This is 320W. That's like the only thing about this foundation is that this doesn't seem like the most hygienic thing to be doing. Do you get what I mean? That's like the only thing. But I will say, a lot of people were talking about the design of the bottle and how it helps. I have really shaky hands. I'm like worried that like later in life, I'm gonna like have issues with my hands. I also pop my fingers a lot. Like, I'm just like real nervous. I should probably start taking vitamins for it. But I realized that the easiest way to open it is grabbing it like this. Like, you kind of grab the little ball with your like middle finger and you just twist, and it makes it so easy to open, as opposed to like grabbing it like this. I mean, you could grab it like this and it is easy. So I personally really like the design. I feel like it's very like I could remember this. Like, it's cute, it's simple. It's like, oh, okay, Rare Beauty. Like, it reminds you of Rare Beauty. Because even like the blush, the concealer, like they all have like this little ball thingy at the top, which I really like. Okay, so I'm gonna blend it out with a foundation brush because that's what I normally do. I bought the sponge, but I didn't really like it. So I'm just gonna see how it blends. Also, I used the two shades because I feel like the first one was too light. what I really liked about Rare is their mission statement and a lot of what they stand for. Their focus is on mental health, which I really like, as well as giving back. They have like an initiative where like they want to donate up to $100 million within, I think, 10 years. Maybe I do need more of that lighter one. I was right. If you're gonna come into the beauty space as a new brand, regardless of who it is and who it's by, have an initiative to really make a change. Because I feel like there's a lot of brands who are like, I want to create change. But it's like, okay, but what are you doing to create change? Like even Fenty Beauty, like they have the Clara Lionel Foundation, where I think 100% of the proceeds of the sale from the Clara Lionel highlighters go to the Clara Lionel Foundation, which is by Rihanna. So it's like you're giving, like you're helping people along the way. Like even MAC has had the Viva Glam campaign, which they just got Rosalia for. And I'm like, wow, like, you know, like these are brands that are really wanting to help, which I really like, you know, like MAC has been doing that for a very long time, a very long time. I feel like this foundation is way too dark for me. I should have just only used the light one. I feel like it's layering okay though. And with color matching, this foundation on the Sephora website, it was a struggle. So I was not on the PR list for this brand and I didn't mind. And I'm like, you know what? I still want to buy some of the products because I felt like the foundation was something that I definitely wanted to try. And I try to like color match it with existing foundations that I have. Like, cause you know how they have like that Sephora thing where like you can match if you already know your exact shade in a different foundation. I try to do the Maybelline Fit Me and then the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Both matches horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. The darker foundation, this one, the 320W, it said it was the Too Faced one. It was not the Too Faced one. And I feel like this one is like 2 shades, like a shade darker. Like even then, like I had to like fix it. And then the Maybelline one, I was like, okay, that's my perfect shade. Y'all say y'all can match it. No, I matched it. It was way too light. Like it was way too, it was like pink. It was like neutral. I was like, ew. Like, so I returned them. I don't know. Once I put the powder on, I feel like that'll help. But I have 2 different concealers. I bought 2 of them. These are super easy to open. Like in comparison to the foundation, you don't hear it click. But with the concealers, like you definitely hear it, look. Right? Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to use the shade 280N. Okay, so I am going to try to use a sponge. Only because I want to try it at least this one time. I don't like how it feels, but let's see how it blends. Wow. Like melted into the foundation. Like perfectly, beautifully. I feel like the sponge is like extremely porous. Gabriel, you're not even supposed to be talking that much about makeup, but look. For setting powder, this is not a makeup tutorial, Gabriel. So recently, if you guys haven't heard, there's been a lot of fires in California. And it's been like a little scary because like I see the effects on it just like around me. Like during the day, like at one point I was like kind of weirded out because I was like, why is it like sunsetty at like 11 a.m.? Because I hadn't opened my blinds until then. I'm like, why is it so like sunsetty? My heart goes out to like the first responders and like the firefighters having to deal with this because it's like, it's already so hot outside. Like in LA, it's been so hot. Like last week before like the fires really like got a little bit more intense, I need a mirror. I laid out just for like some color. Like I like to lay out like maybe like once a month because I haven't been getting laser hair removal because I'm not really going anywhere that I don't mind that like I'll just shave from time to time. I try to like sometimes like do like 20 minutes on my back and like 15 minutes on my front so that like I get like a nice little color. And I was like, okay, it's a little hot outside. Like it's gonna be a nice little like tan. Like let me do 30 minutes on my, like let me tan my back for 30 minutes and then I'll turn over and then I'll do the front for like 20 minutes. I couldn't even go, like I did 30 on my, like tanning my back and I was soaked. Like I was sweating, dude, sweating. It was like, it's been an intense heat and it's not fun. And I can only imagine the people that are like closer to the fires that are like a lot more affected. Like I've seen videos of like people driving and the sky's red and like, it's so scary. So if anyone's like affected and like watching this, like my heart and prayers go out to you that y'all are safe. It was so hot. My Crocs, like, so I have black Crocs and I don't know why I decided to wear them out. I usually always wear my white Crocs when I go outside, and I wore this is the most insignificant story, but I wanted to tell you. Oh, I didn't use the fucking cream blush. I've swatched this. I love it. It's so nice. This is in the shade Love. I love like the very terracotta color. I only wanted this color. The other ones I'm like, I know I'm not gonna use. Like, realistically, I don't do liquid blush, but this one caught my eye. I'm not gonna lie. My black Crocs shrunk because of the heat. It's a very interesting thing to try to explain. Like, so because my black Crocs were outside and that heat was so strong, and they were out there for like possibly like in the sun. I was in the sun for like 42 minutes, like almost 45 minutes. So they were also in the sun. They got so hot. Like I even grabbed them and they ended up shrinking a little. So word of advice, don't leave your Crocs out in the sun. So I did my eyebrows and I've now let it sit for like 10 minutes. It's still very like luminous. Like it's still very glowy. And I set it off. Like it's still so glowy. Like it's so pretty. Wow. I wonder if I should do my eye. Oh my god, Ariel? Hello? I'm filming everyone. What are you doing? Just chilling. Should I cut my hair?
Cut it?
Yeah. Like back to short? Or should I let it grow out?
No, I miss your short hair.
Right? Thank you for calling me and singing to me. Now you're just showing off. So I'm gonna let you go so that I can get back to work. Since you just want to fucking show off, you're like, hey. What the fuck? Okay, for eyes, I'm doing kind of like a brown smoky moment. Like a brown, like a chocolatey moment. Yeah. Hi, editing Gabriel here. That didn't happen. So I don't want you to continue watching this video thinking I'm going to create this beautiful brown smoky eye. So just don't have those expectations moving forward. So for 2 palettes, I'm just going to be dipping in. This is Artist Couture Supreme Nudes and One Size. I just want to like play with the nude tones in there. So I guess we can also do like a dating update. Quarantine dating is not fun at all. Guys are almost completely non-existent. If we're keeping it honest, I do have my... I think we all do, especially when we're single. We all have our, you know, designate, like we all have our people that we like to hang out with. And I have been bored. Not even in the sense, but see, I'm also like not in the market to add to my already like, to my number. I'm bored. Like I feel like I don't respond to guys back. Even on Bumble, dude. I match with like this beautiful guy. Oh, just delicious. Like, yes, down. I got bored so quickly. Like, I don't even sometimes feel like responding back. Like, it's kind of difficult to date, but I'm also making it difficult myself. Like, I'm not becoming like, oh my God, what if I become like, what is it? Like asexual? Like when you don't need to hook up or be sexual at all? Would that be a bad thing? No. Do you think realistically it's gonna happen? No. Like I'm weirdly swearing off like I feel like all men. To the point where like one of my guys got into a relationship and I was like, oh, maybe I should have messaged you back before you got into a relationship. But then I'm also like, I don't know, dude. Like I'm going crazy. If it wasn't for having a cat, like I think I would have gone crazier than I already am. Like, oh my God, I can't imagine. I've been learning a lot by having a cat, not even gonna lie. Like, it definitely made me reflect on my level of patience. I never realized that, like, my patience was going, like, very, like, it's very short because I live by myself. Like, my patience was very short, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she'll do certain things and then I get upset. And now, like, she does so many things that I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I let go of a lot of things now. Like, I would get upset that she would climb up my curtains downstairs. And at first, it definitely was an issue. But then I'm like, Gabriel, like, she's not outside. Like, I reason a lot more things now. I feel like I have that level of like, oh, almost parental in a sense. Like, I'll have that, like, I'll have these conversations with myself where I'm like, but like, oh, like, you know, she wants to climb. She's a baby. Like, the curtains came with the house. Like, they're not even yours. If she fucks them up, who cares? Just know that when you buy more curtains, you swear you're like a curtain connoisseur and you love curtains and you see yourself constantly having curtains in your life. Like, calm down, Gabriel. Okay? Give her something to climb. And if not, she's going to find something to climb. I think also having something constantly that I can unconditionally love is also really nice just for like my psyche. I realize like living by yourself is really fun, don't get me wrong, but not living near your family sucks. You know, even if I like lived within the same city, like I could still go see my family. Like sometimes I just like miss a hug from my mom. Like truly. So like if you live with your mom or you live close by, next time you hug her, be like, oh my God. Like imagine if you couldn't do this as often as you do it. Like my sisters, my brother, my dad, like my cousins, like I miss the accessibility that I had to them. Like you really take it for granted not knowing that you're going to miss it. So it's not really taking it for granted. You don't know that you're taking it for granted. Like you don't know that you should be doing all these things. It's not until you like really start to miss people that you end up realizing these things. I bought myself the Fenty bronzers because I wanted to see what they were all like. I feel like they looked lighter online. Did I get the right colors? See, this is why I hate shopping for makeup online. So I'm using Island Ting by Fenty Beauty. I want to see, I already have a lot of color. But I want to see if it'll... Oh, it's warmer. Like this kind of warming usually happens from like cream contouring. Oh, that's so pretty. Yeah, because this side's so much more neutral. I'm looking into not missing them as much as I do. Like, dude, I'm super homesick. Like, especially right now, like during quarantine, like I only see like a few people, like very few people. Like a lot of them are also like quarantining by themselves. But even then I'm just home a lot of the time. Like I'm going crazy, like fully. Like fully was going crazy for like a quick second. Like especially like in the beginning, like it was, I was not having it. It was way too much for me. Like it really was way too much for me. Oh my God, you know what I recently watched? I recently watched Mulan. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I personally didn't like it. I didn't hate it by any means. I definitely didn't hate it. But it wasn't my favorite. Like I understand the conversation of people having issues with like maybe certain insensitive things that were in the original cartoon animated version and wanting to fix that and make it more realistic to the culture. Like I have heard that conversation. I'm like, okay, cool. Totally get that. But I felt like the storyline was just it was just so different and it's hard to really change the story on a story that you already have so like ingrained in your head and you're going in thinking it's something that it definitely isn't. So I guess that's my advice for watching Mulan. If you are gonna watch it, don't go into it thinking it's gonna be like the cartoon. Think that it's gonna be something like, oh, that kind of reminds you of Mulan, like a lot. Like I mean, it is, I don't know, it's just, so I have Disney Plus and then I paid $30 to get early access to it. I don't recommend that at all because the movie wasn't worth it. And also $30 is a lot. But I also saw online that there was like a lot of issues with where it was filmed and the actress, like the main actress supposedly like, I don't know. There's so much about it online. What is this eye look? I think I messed it up. I'm so annoying. Why do I do things without even thinking? If you want like a really good recommendation for a very jam-packed movie, on Netflix, there's a movie called Double World and it's very actiony. It is subtitled in English, so it's not in English. But I personally didn't mind it. I just like didn't learn the people's names because they were kind of like difficult to remember. So I just didn't learn I didn't learn their names, but I did understand the storyline very well. Bebe? Who is that? Who's making all that noise? Don't you know that I'm recording? I'm recording. But yeah, go watch Double World on Netflix. If you have a Netflix account, you don't have to pay for it. It's good. I really liked it. It made me cry. There's a lot of action. Like it was really good. I'm just letting you know, it's really good. So Double World on Netflix. So I really don't know if I want to chop off my hair again. Y'all heard me earlier asking Ariel, like, do I need to chop off my hair? I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to chop off my hair or not, because I feel like I'm going through that, like, moment again where I want to, like, chop it off. Like, I chopped it off. I was letting it grow out at the beginning of quarantine. Then I got really impatient, and then I chopped it off. Because I feel like I look so pretty with short hair, like, with the little, like, pixie moment. So pretty. But then I'm like, what would I look like with long black hair? And I've already had long black hair and I really like it. I'm getting impatient waiting for it. I want like a constant change. And I wonder if it's because, oh, dude, probably why I have such an issue with like wanting to constantly change my hair is because for so long I was changing my hair so often. It became almost like part of like my identity in a way. Like I was always like changing and like doing something new and like always wanting to like do new things, do new things, do new things. But do you ever feel like social media has like this weird pressure on you that you feel like, well, maybe this is just me. I feel like social media has this pressure on me of always wanting to like get or like create something new. Like I need something new. I've already shot a lot in this, and like I always feel like I need to change up my like clothes. I need to change up my place. I need to change up my hair. I need to change up my makeup. It's like this always constant like keeping up in a sense. Oh my god, I feel like social media also pressures me. Like, not saying it's the people, it's like, let's really dissect into this. Okay. So now that we're like deep into the video, I feel like we can now have a deeper conversation to like get rid of like a lot of like people who want to watch with ill intention. So one of the reasons, I just get so nervous like even wanting to, like I'm getting nervous just saying it. Like if I'm being quite honest, like just admitting it because I haven't admitted it. And okay, there's no stigma around it. But I've been dealing a lot with certain mental health issues and I have been going to therapy. It is a very interesting time. I feel like social media really like fucked with me for a minute. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like it really was like fucking with my brain. And I don't know if it's because I like work in the space or if it does this to, well, I think it's because of like what I do. I don't, like I'm sure there's like pressure. I don't know. Like do you have certain like psychological pressures that you feel like social media kind of puts on you? Like I feel like my pressures were so because of the situations that I was in, but I felt like I was always having to keep up with like this social media idea of who Gabriel was. So I was in that mindset of like almost, okay, this is what the world thinks Gabriel is, so I'm gonna keep doing this, right? But one of the things that I really noticed was I watched this documentary recently on Netflix called Our Social Dilemma. And I highly recommend it if you're someone who, I don't know, someone who's in their head a lot, especially if you feel like it's kind of derived a little bit from social media. It's very interesting because it starts off with like, what's the issue, right? And it's this psychological issue that social media has created on people. And I'm totally down to do a full dedicated video on it. Like if you guys after this let me know down in the comment section down below, or like tweet me, DM me, like a full video on my thoughts and breakdown of it fully. And I guess my perspective as somebody who's in social, because it's weird, dude. Like it's weird. It really, one of the things that definitely stood out to me was when they said that it's designed to kind of like make people addicted to it. Like it really is. And I can fully say that I have found my moments of like being a little too obsessed with social media and almost allowing it to weirdly dictate my life. I know. Like, I thought I was better than that. I was like, no, it's never going to happen to me. Like, one of the things that I'm realizing about my mental health is that I'm not always aware, even though I think I am, of everything. You know, sometimes you think that you're fine, but when that one person that sees it, they're like, are you okay? And it just like triggers it all. And you're like, oh my God, I'm not. I needed to focus on my mental health, just like what was going on in my head and what was going on with like my emotions and just everything with like me. I still don't believe that being on social media is a regular thing. If anything, I'm more so interested in like what's going to happen in 10 years, like the psychological study of what social media does to people, especially when they do it in comparison to people who don't do social media, but they are still like, I want to see that comparison as well, because being on social media in and of itself is just very strange, to say the least. Like, because you can feel like you're really strong and then like you don't realize, but like it's really fucking with you. And I feel like that's where I was. Like, I wasn't allowing myself to really find out what was wrong with me. And I think it's because I grew up not having access to therapy and having someone to really talk to. Now that I'm able to, I've realized that it's something that I need, dude. There's certain things that happen in your life that you feel like aren't affecting you until you really break down why there's certain things going on with you mentally that are attributed to things that you thought you've moved past or you weren't even thinking of or you thought you processed. And I, as a very analytical person, somebody who likes to dive into the psychology of things and understanding and trying to see different perspectives, I thought that, oh, maybe like it was just wasn't my priority to see if I truly was okay, just mentally. Because within the last year, I want to say, yeah, like June up until this past, like basically June, so much happened in my own personal life that I never kind of like fully wanted to speak about. And there's certain things that I thought I had like cleared. There's certain things that I thought I had processed that still hadn't sat well with me. And I just kept running and like avoiding situations. Like, I kept avoiding it all. Like, I just thought if I avoid it, it'll go away. I just kept thinking that. Like, I just kept thinking if I just don't pay attention to it, or I'm not going to give it any more energy, I'm just going to let it die off, or like just let it just not be a thing. I have that control. I thought it's not going to be a thing because I'm not going to allow it to be a thing. But it ends up being a thing. Like, we're human. Like, it just got to a point where it wasn't easy for me to just be in my head by myself. Like, it wasn't easy for me to try to figure these things out by myself. It wasn't easy for me to process these things by myself. Like, I thought that, like, if I listen to psychology books and I, like, hear other people's experiences, like, that'll help me process mine. It'll help me understand mine. And it'll help me kind of, like, move. No. Every situation is very different. And even with therapy, every type of therapy is very different. I've been doing it over the phone. It allows me to, and like just over the phone, like not FaceTime, it allows me to just kind of like disconnect, close my eyes, and really have a conversation. I know that I sometimes just be sad. Like, I just be sad sometimes. Like, and to me, I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like, everybody's sad. Like, everybody's sad. Like, everybody has emotions, Gabriel. Everybody goes through things. But for me, it was just like, it was just lasting for so long that it just felt like I was like dragging things along. And I knew I wasn't in the best like mental state to be basically myself on the internet, because it got to a point where I was scared to be me because I was scared of hate. So I'm like, I need a break just from YouTube, because that's where like my voice is very much so listened to more. Like there was a point where everything was just getting picked apart. Like it sucked. Like it really did. I'm very much the person where I'll say, "Oh, I don't care." Like I got to that point where I'm like, "No, no, it's fine. Like it's fine." Like I kept avoiding conversations even with myself. Like I kept avoiding things, like with everything. Like it got to the point where I was avoiding emails, like I was avoiding text messages, I was avoiding phone calls. Like I was almost like secluding myself, because so I'm like, you know what? I need a break, but I'm still going to be on Instagram because I felt like my voice wasn't so loud there. Like it had like almost an expiration date in a sense. Like the stories would go away, the videos were more visual. Like it felt safer, and it didn't feel like I had to answer certain things. Like I kept avoiding certain questions, I kept avoiding certain topics, and I just kept avoiding and avoiding and avoiding. And then it was like I was even avoiding myself. One of the things that I need to remind myself is to talk about this state in a past tense, because I feel like I've moved on a lot from it. It was just happening behind the scenes, and I now feel comfortable sharing that part of me. I just kept thinking, like, I can just figure it out myself. I can just figure it out myself. Like, you'll be fine. Like, you'll be fine. Like, it was almost like I'm very tough love with everybody in my life. So I'm very tough love with myself. And I needed to have honest conversations with a professional. Like, truly with a professional. Like, if there's nothing wrong with me, then that's fine. But is there still something wrong with me? Because I thought I had, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, it really is. Like, mental health isn't easy. But I think talking about it makes it a little easier. I realized that I had really bad anxiety. And I just kept thinking that, like, oh, like I thought anxiety was like this thing that makes you like jittery and like almost like, oh my God. But it's also something that's like in your head that when you try to do certain things, like it gives you this really weird feeling that you run away from. And I just kept running away from that anxiety, like things that would give me even the slightest feeling of anxiety. And I didn't know it was that. I didn't know. I thought it had to be debilitating. I thought it had to be like, I can't even leave my own home. Like, I have such a fear of things. I thought that's what anxiety was. And for me, it's something that I just run away from. Like, I don't even want to, like, I don't want to feel it. So I avoid anything that gives me that feeling. And it sucks, because it even became like there was at a point where I was avoiding conversations with people because I'm like, oh, I don't want them to like bring this up. And I kept thinking that everybody that I would talk to, even in my own personal life, was going to bring certain things up. And I don't want it to sound like I'm ungrateful for what I do by any means. It's just, it's something that I have to just be a lot more aware of, because it is something that I love to do. And it comes with that. Like, it is going to affect certain things in you, Gabriel, that you have to be a lot more aware of, so that you're not allowing it to debilitate you and kind of like mandate and run your life, because it got to that point. Like, I like where I am now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. I really like where I am now. I feel like I'm not that Gabriel anymore. That was in like a very just sad, dark place. Um, oh my God, I keep on forgetting to use different things. Like, I'm really happy where I am now, because if I can give you any word of advice, like, if you're in that dark space, it's really hard to see that, like, that finish line, or like over that hump, and it's hard. Okay? Like you almost feel like, oh my God, like it's so easy. Like it almost feels downhill. Like it almost feels like a ditch. Like it was so easy to get to that mental space, but it was so hard to like get out of it. I didn't realize how easy it was for me to fall into such a like dark place. I'm a very emotional person and I sometimes don't mind being sad, but sometimes you can be too sad that it really affects you. So just be aware of that. One of the things that I feel for me personally that would just it's that final kind of like is just having a conversation with y'all about certain things that happened that I never felt like I fully was able to explain to y'all. One of the reasons that I haven't had these conversations with y'all is because I just had that anxiety that just kept telling me like, no, don't do it. It doesn't matter if you feel wronged. It doesn't matter if it sucks and you're being shit on right now. It just avoid it and it'll go away and then you don't even have to deal with it. Well, I don't want to look a certain type of way because I'm addressing certain issues that I'm involved in was fucking with me. Like for a while. I was like, no, just don't address it. Because you're thought of as like some people have created their idea that you are this problematic person and you like to create issues and you can't just like just sit there and do your makeup and be nice. And I'm like, I don't want that reputation. Like I consider myself a very nice person to my own knowledge. It sucked to hear that I was like a bad person for like standing up for certain things. For my real ones, I do have a fear that anything I say from this point forward might be used in videos and people will have an opinion on it, but it's just that, an opinion. Like it's just going to be an opinion and it's fine. It is just definitely something that I want to have a conversation with my own personal audience. It's one thing to have an idea of me by watching me and like, you know, seeing what I do. But it's another thing to have an idea of me based off something else that's said to you that is false. A recent video that I saw was by a YouTuber named D'Angelo Wallace here on YouTube. He does really good videos. I followed him for a very long time now. I think he has a really interesting perspective onto videos and I like his approach to like, it's just 10 minutes of things he wants to talk about, like whatever topic he finds interesting, which I really like. There's no fully set type of topic other than he's like a commentator. Like he talks about situations and he puts his own perspective onto things and clarification onto things, which I really liked. And I watched his recent video about Tati. And this isn't going to be, I don't want it to be a bashing video by any means. It's just, there's some certain things that we just need to have a conversation about. He really breaks it down. It's a pretty long video. I'm not going to link it because I don't want to seem shady, but if you want to go find it, he has specific videos and this one was specifically on her. And in that video, I come out in it. And it gave me this very like, okay, this one thing that I had thought that I thought nobody else like cared about is being shown. Like, thank you for that. She said in her video that I was the reason why she uploaded that video. It was actually the first makeup and opinions video. Weirdly enough, actually. So it was the first makeup and opinions video. And she said in that video, I was called out by Gabriel Zamora. And in D'Angelo's video, he calls that out. He calls out the discrepancies in her second video that she uploaded much more recently. So her first video, I got a ton of hate by her saying that I was the reason why she uploaded that video, which I know was a lie. Before I had even filmed my video, a drama channel had told me that she was already making a video. Before I had even uploaded my video, another drama channel had also confirmed that she was already making the video. So I didn't like that in her video, she said that the reason why she made that video, she's like, I never do this, but I was called out by Gabriel. That's not the reason why she made the video. Because then in her recent video, she said, the reason why I made the video was because of Shane and Jeffree. So I got a ton of hate by saying, why are you calling, like, and I get it. People have their stands, okay? She was a lot bigger. It was millions of views, okay? it was a lot of people thinking that I had caused all this, that I had created all these things. But as we now know, there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And at that time, I was like, really? Like, we're just gonna lie? That part sucked because it was a lot of people who believed that. It was a lot of, dude, I had an opinion. Yeah, I knew what I was doing. Okay, I will perfectly admit to that. Me talking about the situation was a little bit messier, but I knew what was going on behind the scenes. So I'm like, don't pick up my friend. Like, just don't pick on my friend. So when she uploaded her video, I didn't want to upload a YouTube video. I didn't want it to be another drama related video on my channel, like my truth. I'm supposed to be doing my eyes. Like, I'm not even focused on this. If you're thinking to yourself, Gabriel, this is so old, why the fuck do you care? I care because someone lied, dude. Like, someone in my own community. Like imagine somebody at work who's very highly respected and has been there for a very long time just lies about you, you know? And that one you could be like, well, maybe she felt like that was the last straw. Okay, but then the conversation that she had in the kitchen, because by this point, y'all have seen James's video. The conversation that she said she had in the kitchen, she was omitting information. Like, I didn't say all these things like in a YouTube video. I said it on Snapchat. Once I saw her video and I saw that she lied about me being the reason why she made that video, and she lied about the conversation about the boy in Seattle, I was like, really? Like, we're just going to be like, I'm not playing this game. Like, I'm not playing this game anymore. Like, anymore. Like, I'm not playing it. Because at this point, like, we're willing to lie. Like, full, just big ass lies. Big ass lies. And which I found kind of weird in her most recent video that she's like, in that video, I did not lie. Yes, you did. Like, you full on lied. Like, you full on lied, dude. I really was not going to say nothing. I wasn't going to say anything until I saw my friend behind the scenes. And I don't think I ever explained this to y'all. To see how I saw James was really sad. To the point where, like, I can't, as a human who cares about this individual, even as a friend, can just idly stand by and watch this happen. Which, if you've kept up with, you now know in what headspace he was. So to see that was really, really sad and scary. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. Like, we're not doing this. I'm going to show you what you need to do. I need you to just go up to bat. So I'm like, okay, I wasn't going to say nothing, but if nobody wants to say nothing, if nobody within the community wants to say anything about this, I'm more than willing to. Because I'm going to stand up for my friends. Like, I am, especially if I know something. It was scary because, like, on Snapchat, like, I know it was a very long story that it had to go minute by minute. And within the first, like, 6 or 7 minutes, I was getting hate on Twitter. Hate on Twitter. Because I was talking about it. And by the end of it, people were like, wait, he's making a lot of sense. I need to be doing my makeup. Oh my God. Like, I'm so shaky, like, just even talking about all this, because I'm like, but I'll be damned if I let anybody lie on me again. Like, truly. Like, somebody that I had respect for within the community. And then James came out with his video, No More Lies, that debunked a lot of the stuff. Like, fully debunked it. Like, the Seattle thing, she fully made up to paint. She didn't make up. She omitted information to try to paint a certain narrative. And I didn't like that. And she twisted certain things. So that's why I was like, I know James's video. Like, James's video didn't have lies in it. Like, it didn't. Like, it didn't. So that's why when she tweeted what she tweeted, like, she still did what she did. Like, even in D'Angelo's video, like, I even respectfully, like, because I do like his perspective, I started to see his perspective of, like, her being manipulated and being told certain things behind the scenes to believe certain things. But with my situation, she still lied. So it's one thing to believe something about somebody else, but with Gabriel, she lied. And to this day, to this day, I still get hate from that. It's hard to say, like, well, don't read the comments when that's the way that I engage with my audience a lot of the times, especially on my stuff. I've gotten good at not reading the comments about me on other posts, but sometimes I get the hate on my own stuff in my DMs and in my YouTube like restricted comment section. And I'm like, fuck, like, and it messes with you because I'm like, damn, like, even after me explaining myself on Snapchat, James making his explanation video, everything being debunked, even now a year later, after like so much has come out, I still get hate from that because of her video that she uploaded and she lied on me. And she's such like a respected person within the beauty space that a few brands saw me in a different light because of what she said. I literally kept like a sense of like resentment towards her for a while, especially after that video. I told myself it needs time to fully like have everything really be exposed. And I feel like a year later, like a lot came out. Even around the time that she had uploaded her video, I was like, okay, I'm like processing this out, but like it's still like it still doesn't sit right with me that you were able to so willingly sit in that first video and lie and say I did certain things and that I was complicit in certain behavior. It has nothing to do with me. I get it. There's a way bigger issue. I get it. I'm like a lot of people don't even give a fuck about my involvement in that, but I still got hella hate from it and people still hella believe shit from it. And I'm like, damn, girl, like, why'd you gotta lie? Like, why you gotta lie? Just be like, I didn't like his video because why is he calling me out? Like, he has nothing to do with this. Like, don't involve yourself. If she had said that, I'd be like, I mean, she's not lying, Gabriel. Like, I would have been perfectly fine with that. I would have been perfectly fine with it, but she didn't. That's why I was just like, and you were in that kitchen and you were there for that conversation. I was like, that's not the conversation that was had. It created this weird resentment towards her in me for a while, even though I thought like, oh, who cares? Like, time has passed, or it's been like 4-6 months since it passed. I still had that resentment in me. And it messed with me because I started to think people are really willing to lie in this game. Like, somebody that you really thought wouldn't, because you thought like, oh, they're very respected. Like, very respected. Like, they're a very reputable person. Was willing to lie on me to paint a narrative. I know I can't fight that because that's going to be such a waste of energy to try to have an argument with someone who's willing to lie. And that's basically what happened with me in that situation. Like, go watch D'Angelo's video on the situation. It's something that I just have to like get over. The fact that that was said about me by her. And there's a lot of people, there was drama videos made about me based off of what she had lied about, which sucked. And certain drama channels apologized to me, which I really appreciated because it was just like, it was behind the scenes. It was personal. Like, I don't care if someone talks about me. It sucks when it's negative about me, when it's based on a lie. It's one thing to be like, Gabriel's being problematic, or like, Gabriel's being shady, or why are you liking this? Why are you saying these things? Why are you tweeting these things? Is this a subliminal? It's one thing. But to then be like, oh, Gabriel's problematic and he's calling her out, which is why this whole video was made, is fucked, because that's not why the video was made. Especially from certain drama channels that told me she was already making the video. Like, it was a fuck time. And I don't like when someone lies on me. I'm getting way too distracted. Let me go finish my eyes and then I'll be right back. This took me like 10 minutes. I literally just like put on mascara, popped on a lash, and like deepened the lash base. I just wanted a very like neutral look, but very like black smoky. Okay, one thing that I really like to do is I've been using the House Laboratories, the liquid eyeliner in whiskey, the brown one. And this looks really weird, but making Do you see how like it defines the brow in such a different way? It like adds like a warmth to it. It makes it like blend into my hair a little bit more. But I did see recently that I think Anastasia Beverly Hills is coming out with like pens, so I'm kind of excited to try that. If not, this one works really well because it is an eyeliner that's not supposed to budge, so it works really well even in the brows. I think I want to add blush. Do you see how like luminous the skin still looks? I don't see a whole lot of blush, so I kind of want to play with the Rare Beauty blush. This is the terracotta one. I wonder if it's going to be too dark. But one thing that I did realize is apply it to the back of your hand, and with the brush, since we're on the topic of lies, another lie that I never wanted to address that we can definitely address, and I'm going to keep it just as short, as simple as possible because I definitely don't want this to be like a thing, but I just don't like when people lie on me. The whole Nikita Snapchat episode, if you know, you know. It's one thing for us to have like our own issues behind the scenes. And I'm not one to tell somebody that they can't express themselves online, especially me. I can't tell anybody that. But I don't like that the narrative that was painted on me was so bad. And a lot of people didn't put two and two together because let's not say everybody who knows who she is knows who I am. That's perfectly fine. But a lot of people still found out who she was talking about because of a lot of the key clues. They made sure not to say my name, but a lot of people still understood it. I still got a ton of messages. Like I couldn't even go on live, dude. It's just weird to like make Instagram lives and all that would be in the comments is like, why did you ghost her? Why did you ghost her? Why did you play her like that? Why did you do this? And it's like, little girl, don't lie. Because I have the text message conversations. And that's why I was like, I'm not about to do this. No. Like not from my own friend. Like, and I didn't want to address it because I was like, I don't want it to be a thing. Like this is somebody I care about. Like I don't want it to be a thing like that again. Like I don't want it to be a shit show between somebody that I really care about. The text message that she showed on that episode was fully false. That is not our text message conversation. And I find it very hypocritical that I'm made to be the one that ghosted her when in our last text message conversation, we were supposed to hang out and she ghosted me. Our own issues behind the scenes are just that. She feels however which way type of way about boundaries that I set. That's perfectly fine. But don't then allude to me being the friend that ghosted you when I didn't. Like that sucked. Like that one really hurt. Like that was probably the one that hurt the most because I never expected it for it to be from somebody that I like cared about for so long and so much. And also I didn't like that the episode kind of started off with the conversation of people flipping the switch when you become successful. If we're basing it off of her metrics of success, which is likes and followers, I know people with bigger numbers than her. And that's also not my idea of success. So I didn't like, maybe it was a play on editing, and it is a valid statement to make that people do flip the switch when you start to get more successful. That is a valid thing. It's happened to me. But what we're not going to do is make it seem like I did that. Our situation was just that. I still don't want to talk about the private stuff behind the scenes because I don't feel like I have to at this moment. So I'm not going to. But what she put on that episode was a lie. It sucked at the time that it happened because it just kind of like, I was trying to get over that whole hate that I got from the Tati situation. It felt really heavy. It felt much heavier and like harder to deal with when it was like somebody that I really like. It was like I cared so much about this individual. And it sucked. Like, it was heavy. Like, even thinking about that time, like, it was heavy. And like that part didn't even come out until after. So I was dealing with the things that we were going through. So to then see that be put out there, and then I get all that, like, to have even just like colleagues, which is like other beauty influencers, be like, so I heard you ghosted her, or I saw that episode about you. Oh my God, so was that episode about you? Like, it was embarrassing. And I know it's not a lot of people, but a lot of the people who do know us together as friends, to then get that into their head that I was the one, like, dude, all I did was set boundaries. That's all I did. Like, it's weird, dude. Like, people are weird. People are weird. I don't understand why lie. Like, we can have a disagreement, we can have an issue, and we can like move past things. But like, I just don't get why people in social media have to go on the internet and lie to create a narrative. But I'm at a point where I'm moving past it. And if it has to deal with me, I will stand up for myself. Those situations just hurt. And it took me a while to want to stand up for myself, because I just felt like at this point, with how big they are, nobody's going to care about your perspective and about what you really have to say. And nobody's going to care about the truth because they've already seen their side. And it sucks when someone's side has lies. So to deal with those two things, getting lied on by a professional within my own industry, losing a friend, and then in turn have them paint me in such a negative light. And then I had a work situation where there was a company that I worked with for a while. Somebody at that company, that knife was deep in my back. Ooh, I've never been so backstabbed in my work life until that person. And I was like, wow. And it was like the last person I expected. That's why I was like, so to deal with all three things, I was just trying not to deal with it. I just kept thinking that like, I just won't deal with it. Like, I'll move on. Like, it'll just pass. It'll just pass. And it doesn't. And it didn't. And it was just dragging me down. And it was just dragging these things with me. And it just was like, it sucked. Like, to say the least. But luckily, I'm working on it. You know? I am a lot more comfortable in my own voice, in standing up for myself. For me to just be able to have this conversation with my own audience is so just like relieving. And like, I needed it. So yeah. Ooh, it sucked, dude. It sucked. All that, like, just all that. All at once. All within like, it was such big things. And in a weird way, as fucked as it sounds, like, I'm low-key grateful, because it really proved to me what I'm willing to like endure and for how long. And like, I luckily was just able to like get help before it got like just too dark. It's hard to talk about, because even as old as the things are, like, I just fear that it creates a situation. I can't be afraid to stand up for myself in the fear that people are going to look at me in a negative light when they already do, based on lies. So it's like, I can't win by any means. Like, it's just, do I endure hate off lies, or do I endure hate for standing up for myself? And at least I stood up for myself, even if I get hate. And this time it's not even something I said, it's something that I didn't say. I didn't stand up for myself, and it was hard. I wanted to like just say something so bad, but I had this fear that like it was just gonna create things and things were gonna happen. And I was like, if I just don't do anything, nothing will happen. It was just like it wasn't just one thing, it was the fact that all three things it was the fact that all three things happened all at once, or like we're just really close to each other. ¿Qué pasó? You want to go to sleep already? You want to go to sleep? She's so spoiled. Spoiled. What are you doing? Okay, I'm going to use the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero highlighter palette. I think I'm going to use this shade right here, Glow Getter. Okay. I just don't want this situation to, like, I don't know, it's just... Gabriel, you can't worry yourself about how people will consume what you put out into the world. It is not your responsibility to make people happy. You are not put on this earth to give about what other people think about you and making sure that you're making them happy. I'm just here to live me. I'm just here to be Gabriel. And that's what's been going on in my life. It's been an interesting time, for sure. I definitely thought I had fully processed it out. I was like, oh, I just need to like let y'all know, but it definitely feels like a lot has been taken off my shoulders in a way, because it was just it just felt really awkward to like upload content and not addressing certain things, especially such big things. I'm no longer allowing that fear to kind of drive my boat in any direction. I'm just going to be Gabriel. If it has anything to do with me, I'll be talking about it. But if it doesn't, it has nothing to do with me. I feel now mentally sane enough to come back and create content because I knew that I needed this little moment. Like, I just needed this. And if everyone who still believes what they want to believe about me based on what other people have said about me, that's perfectly fine. But to the people who believed something, they're like, well, he hasn't said anything, so it must be true. It's not. So, yeah. To my real ones, I fucks with you. Okay? This was a long video. Ooh, this was a long video. There's a lot of content. Even just going back into it just to talk about it was a little uncomfortable. ¿Qué pasó? Manti. Oh, look at this little baby. ¿Qué le pasó? I feel a lot more comfortable being myself. I feel a lot more comfortable in my own voice and who Gabriel is. I'm excited. It feels calming. It doesn't feel as scary as it used to. I think it's because so much time has passed that it's fine. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you hit that notification bell so you'll be notified exactly when I'm uploading. I now feel very comfortable. I really do. Like, I feel like I've been really wanting to get back into my flow of YouTube. It's always been such a fun relationship. And I'm sorry that I allowed myself for that relationship to be changed. I just thought that like if I didn't address things, I don't know why I thought our relationship had to change based on other outside factors. Like, fuck the outside factors. Like, it's like, I'm just gonna be Gabriel, okay? That's all I know how to be. And I will always be Gabriel, and I will always be passionate, and I will always be loyal, and I will always be happy. And if you try me, I'm gonna come for you. It's as simple as that. I'm gonna go now. This was an amazing time. If you got to this point, thank you. Please make sure to go vote. I will leave a link down below to headcount.org. It gives you all the information on how to vote at home, how to go to a poll, everything you need to know about voting in whatever state you're in. Just please vote. Like, it's so easy. Even like if you could even vote from home. Like, they'll mail it. There's a whole process. It's so easy. I promise you. It's like a step by step. So please make sure to vote. And until next time, bye everyone. I legit have not kept it 100 with China Wow, and it just feels good to like, that's the only thing that needed clarification. Now I feel like, okay, like we can get back to normal. We can get back to normal. We will be back to normal. I will be back to normal. I will be back to happy. I will be back to excited. I will be back to motivated. Just takes time. It's like a step by step, day by day. Yeah. Good night, everyone.